I guess I can open up with this because I want to be honest real quick. If I can be, I'm perfectly aware of this, and I'm going to talk about it just briefly. But shout out to my bros, be it Neurotic, Ryan, obviously Jeremy, everybody with FNT. Not just for showing me love, but they had a great, over this past week, meetup, as they always do out there in Vegas. Their Vegas meetup is highly anticipated as always. Now, this much I will say about this ordeal that happened also over this past weekend. And it is sad that this is where things have gone, but I'm going to give you guys my comments and statements as my wife has just walked in, and she is about to hand me mid-video a smoothie. So thank you. Appreciate you, babe. Anyway, but talking about this real quick, and it is more of a serious topic, if I can pull this up, if you don't mind. And Flash put it perfectly. So if for you guys that don't know, Weirdo decided to go after Neurotic's wife. I don't really understand that. What possesses these guys to do it? But this person has there's no limitations with these types. And this person has gone after other folks that are also on a little corner of the internet. And Flash put it perfectly. The amount of lows these people will go over comic books is wild. And I want to speak on that real quick because oftentimes you don't really, it's hard to conceptualize that the existence of a comic book and its company, like particularly mine, made people so crazy. And you would think that I or Gary or some of the others are going around kicking puppies. That's not what's happened. Now you guys have known people are going after my wife, Doc's houses, going to places of business and messing with other folks that have nothing to do with. Really what it boils down to is going after innocent parties. Look, when you are a commentator on the internet, you have to expect that people are going to criticize you, make fun of you, do all that. That's to be expected. But having the decency to not go after folks that have nothing to, folks that have nothing to do with it. You would think these folks have decency, but that's not what they have. They aren't decent people at all, actually. And you see this, and it's sad that it has gone this route, and it has made people crazy. And I was thinking about this the other day as this whole thing unfolded. It's like, bro, I've experienced more craziness. Or seen more craziness happening to people and parties that have nothing to do with anything than I have in anything that I've done. In comparison to me starting a comic book company, like conceptualize that, guys. Woke up one day, decided, hey, I'm going to give it a shot. Here's some comic books. Please buy if you see something you like. And that thing blew up, and we're still catching up to our demand. And you have folks that have gone crazy over that. They've gone crazy over the idea that there is a comic book company that is up and coming. We have our fans and our fan base, and it's made people do very, very irrational things already, but so irrational that they feel the need to go after people's family members and go after folks that have nothing to do with it. Very, very nice people. I say all the time, I'm a little rough around the edges, so I really anticipate folks going after me. But going after like my employees or going after one of my loved ones, I mean, we've dealt with people. I mean, remember, we've dealt with like folks going after my folks' graves, right? Admitting and advocating, peeing on folks' ancestors' graves. You see what I'm saying? Like a comic book company made people that crazy. Like let's bring this down to earth. It ain't that serious. Now, when I say it ain't that serious, I'm not saying what we do and what we talk about doesn't matter. For sure it does. Especially it matters to me. The Rippaverse has changed my life. It's something that I take very, very seriously. When I say that it's not that serious, it's that something like this should not rile y'all up to where y'all go after other people that often have nothing to do with it. It's like, even with this whole situation, because really, this is a guy whose whole persona right now is going after me and my company. And really the reason why they take shots at, and it's sad that it's like that, they take shots at other folks is because, well, they are friendly with me or they're cool with me. And that's a bizarre position to have. Not that, well, you got to like each and every person. That's not what we're discussing. But the fact that you are upset and irate at folks for being friendly with other folks and having some fun is sad. But it's even more pathetic that folks are going after people's loved ones and that have nothing to do with it. They're not involved in the trenches of what we discuss. It should not make y'all crazy. I think everybody can afford to take a step back and take a breather and really assess their activity, man, because it ain't that crucial, bro. Just be easy. Seriously, I just don't get it. It is very, very, very bizarre. I get a comment like every day on my social media or YouTube or something, and it's like, dude, what the fuck have you done to make people this crazy? And I have the same answer. Started a comic book company. Now I can understand if I was like going around being a piece of shit to people, abusing them, if I was inflicting bodily harm on people. But that's not what happens. I have done good by the people that are around me, my employees especially, the creatives that have been a part of this, and I make sure that these guys are taken care of. But for some reason, it wasn't the starting of the comic book company. Let's be a little more precise. It was the success of it. Because if it was dead on arrival, nobody would have cared. Nobody would have gave a shit. It was the success is what it was. And that, I guess people's mental state was taught, and maybe that was what happened. The mental state was resting upon it failing or not doing as good as it did. And because it did do it, despite their grants and wishes and desires, it has a way of making people crazy. This is why I say things like envy, spite, they are very, very ugly things. And you will destroy yourself mentally by allowing that shit to control you. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. It's a trap. It's not that crucial, man. It's just not. Don't be going after people's loved ones like that and doing crazy things. Like at minimum, you should be able to keep it contained to that person. And I'm not saying it's a free game with that either. I do believe that you should have some sort of morals there. But it is at least to be expected. You get out there in the public sphere, you're going to have people that feel some kind of way. Like it's just anticipated, especially if you put your opinions out there. So you should at least be expecting that. You should at least be anticipating that. What you shouldn't worry, but what, if it gets you that riled up to where you feel like, all right, well, now I'm going to go after this person's family members, or I'm going to mess with the innocent parties. I'm going to mess with people's employees and like if you are that angry and that aggravated, or really what we see now, which is, again, one of the more bizarre things that I think I've seen out of the success of the Rippaverse is people. It's one thing to say you think it sucks, or you don't like Isom or Alpha Core or Yaira, or you don't like the story, you don't like the characters. That's one thing. But I think what makes this a more of a unique scenario is that you have folks that are like actually angry and aggravated, and they'll voice it at people either being nice to me, right, or people showing that they love the Rippaverse. It's weird. I go show up on someone else's stream, and then it's someone getting mad at why are you being nice to him. It's like, what is that, man? Or it's a random person. He gave a review, and it was a good one, and he's excited. And it's like you're angry at him. Or, hey, why won't y'all say a bad thing about Eric? Please, Gary, go say something bad about him. talk about Yaira, talk about trailer. Like it's such a weird thing. And it's like they've come to the conclusion that everybody must dislike it. And then when they see someone that likes it, they get mad. They think it's something disingenuous happening. They think it's something that's not genuine. It's like maybe they actually do like it. Maybe the world doesn't revolve around your opinion, and that should make you mad. Say you don't like it. That's fine. I know they try to conflate the two different things, right? Much like they try to conflate and say that, well, someone that hates everything that we do is the same as a person like myself or Gary talking about Marvel and DC, which were things that we loved. You know, like they conflate that that's the two same things. Like, so we're just doing what you do. No, you don't. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars on Marvel and DC-based material in my lifetime. Anything positive or negative that I said about that company or something that came out was out of love. Everything. It's a difference. So it's the conflating of issues, but what you should not do, either way, bringing it back home, you shouldn't be so mad that you get riled up to where you want to go after people's family members. It shouldn't be that way, man. And while there was once upon a time that I thought, not necessarily thought, but I found out perhaps the hard way, that this isn't anything that is unique to the left by any means. But don't go after people's family members, man. Don't do that. Don't go after people's family members. Don't go after people's employees, people that just because you see people being friendly with folks that you don't like. Like, again, it'd be one thing if we're talking about literal criminals. That's a different thing, right? You got some person that's going around abusing people, using acts of aggression on people. That's a different thing, but that's not what we're discussing. We're talking about comic books, which is kind of crazy to think about. But I recommend people take a step back. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm eating this damn smoothie on screen, but this shit is amazing. That's all I'm saying, though. Just chill out. It shouldn't make people this fucking crazy. It's like that Boondock some people shared. I forget which episode it was. And what's his name was like, damn, what did he do to make them niggas that mad? Like it's kind of what we're looking at. And I get asked a lot, like, what happened? What is it? And my answer is the same. It's like, bro, I don't know what to tell you. I wish I had an answer for it. And I get it. Some of it probably has to do with these actions, let's say, are maybe incentivized through the algorithms and how they work on various forms of social media and websites. So maybe there's it's not entirely sincere, and it's more of this is advantageous to get clicks and views and retweets to act this way. And I guess you want to make the argument that they're playing the game, I guess. But I don't think at that point it's not even a game anymore. If you are filled up with so much rage that you think it's even remotely permissible to go after folks' family, and not because of anything they did, it's because they're simply attached to the guy or gal that you don't like. That shit's corny, man. It's not worth it, bro. It's not that serious. Nobody's going around using acts of aggression upon people. So you shouldn't be mad because people said maybe have an opinion that you didn't like on a given subject matter or I don't know, put out a fucking comic book. It shouldn't be that serious, bro.